Hey, there he is.
Hey,
What's up?
what's up, Ryan? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great, man. I know
Beautiful.
you got your stuff together, so
Oh,
uh,
do what I do, man. Do what I do.
yeah, this is gonna be good times, man. This is just like we can talk forever anyway. So
Man, look, you already know.
this is we're gonna start in about 30 seconds or so. I'm gonna
That's
introduce
cool.
you,
No problem,
and
bro.
then we'll get into the talk. But people are already logging in, so just
Beautiful.
welcome them. They'll ask some questions. If you see a question you want to address while it's coming up, just
Okay.
point it down and say, hey, I want to come to that one too.
I'm
So,
listening. I just saw my.
oh yeah, I was hoping you would be in the DJ area too.
Oh, yeah. I'm always in the lab. That's what I'm down here doing now. Down here working on some stuff for my channel and things like that. So I'm always trying to grind it out, man.
Well,
It is what it is.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't trying nothing. You're doing.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
It's been crazy. You know how this is.
yeah, man. It's a wave we ride. But
Yeah.
I tell everybody that the word try should not exist in your vocabulary. If this is something that's in your heart to do, you're doing it. You're doing it. I was like, I always quote Yoda, man, from Star Wars. He said, either do or do not do. Try does not exist.
Right.
Hit Luke on the head. He was like, either you're doing it or you're not.
It's one or the other. Pick it.
Yeah.
Don't go to the gray area. It's black and white.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
see, somebody said they're going to go to sleep. I want to see how you were doing. Well, thank you for, they signed on just to say what's up real quick. They're going to go to take a little nap. So thank you for signing in and show us some love.
That's what's up.
So when we go ahead, do a quick intro, and then we're going to get to the talk real quick. We'll go to about 40, 45 minutes after, and then try to wrap it up 5 minutes or so during that time.
All right.
So I want to thank you all for viewing, for listening to RDC's Speak Life Sessions. Make sure you subscribe on Apple, follow on Spotify, like, share, rate the podcast. Please rate the podcast. The brother needs ratings. The podcast needs ratings. So, and we want to thank you all. You will be able to listen to this broadcast tonight. We will have it up on the podcast. You'll be able to watch the IGTV interview. You can watch it through either my page or Darrell's page. He'll have it up. He'll have a copy of that to have it up tomorrow. And you can also watch it through my YouTube page, Rodney Day McCollins TV. So thank you very much for signing and being a part of our audience today.
Yes,
Today,
sir.
I have, once again, a very special guest, and this has been like a Cleveland marathon this weekend.
Nice.
We've been repping Cleveland, and I got my I Love Cleveland basketball shirt on. I still rep Cleveland out here. I still rep. And today, thankfully, I'm just grateful that my man from college, I've known him for 30 years.
30 years now, yeah.
And we worked together in corporate America, and we both had dreams and visions of doing other things. And right now in our lives, we are doing that in the middle of a pandemic. He is a DJ. He is a loving father, husband. He is online. He's on Twitch. We're going to get all that stuff out. This man started a DJ show about a month ago. He already has sponsors for his show. So I need to know those tips as well. So without further ado, let me introduce, and you all need to show some love for my guest here, Darrell Newsom, also affectionately known as DJ RELLERELL. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Beer looking good, man.
Hey, man, COVID beer. You know how it goes.
COVID beer.
You know what? I've had the beer for about 4 years now. So for me, it's not a big deal. It's just a matter of keeping it trimmed down, so I'm not getting down the ZZ Top thing going on all the way down. So we keep it close.
Hey, man, that ZZ Top might be kind of nice to do that.
Hey, I ain't got to worry about it up here, so I'm good.
Hey, well, I tell you what, you might as well be the fit DJ too. Fit with DJ.
That has become my moniker as well. So I embrace it. So it's been crazy.
Well, without even like holding the audience off too much, you're living your passion right now. You're doing something that many people want to do. A lot of people want to find a way where they can turn their passion into a profit. So what I would like you to do, can you share briefly, I know your journey, but everybody else don't know. like DJing? Where'd you develop your love for just creating and like engaging people and making people understand and feel music in a different way?
Well, it all started, believe it or not, we were in college, probably around 1990, 91, and just hanging out with a lot of the guys. And, you know, they were doing music, and I was always into music and everything, but hanging around certain individuals, you know, Scott Lindsay and Walter and all these guys.
Got the rock.
Scott Rock, that's my sensei. That is the one of the men responsible for where I am today. But being around it, I fell in love with music, and I was just like, man, watching these guys do parties and DJs, I was like, how do they do that? I was just fascinated by it. So long in it, if I start hanging around guys, they invited me over to come hang out and just start messing with the equipment. And it was one of those things they always said, look, I can't necessarily teach you how to DJ because I can show you how we do things, but you have to get it up here in terms, you have to have an ear for music. And the hardest thing about being a DJ, and everybody knows that is a DJ, is you got to be able to hear multiple things going on at the same time, but be able to separate it at the same time. And I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. But then one day it clicked. And I was like, oh my God, I got it. And it just opened up a whole new world for me. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm like, I get it now. And they were like, now you understand. And it took me a while, but it's one of those things you can't really teach anybody. But once you get it, you know it.
Yes.
And from there on, I just started messing around with records. One of my other frat brothers had turntables he wasn't using. So I set it up in my apartment. Another one of my frat brothers and my buddies were working at the radio station, and they would have extra records, and I would borrow crates of records, and they would just bring them over, and I'd go get them and just start messing around. And then eventually I kind of honed in on my skill a little bit. And once I got out of school, I started, you know, doing stuff at home, started doing family events just to kind of get practicing, doing the cookouts and the family stuff, and got kind of good at it. And then people were like, you know, you should try to do weddings and stuff. And I was like, okay. You know, so now it turned into, you know, I was just doing it because I love music. And after that, it was like, okay, I need to start doing weddings. And I tell this one story about, I don't tell everybody how I got there, but I was going to do an event for the family. My equipment, I had to give it back to my frat brother because he needed his stuff back. So my uncle was like, aren't you going to do the family picnic? I was like, no, I can't do it anymore. I don't have any equipment. He was like, you don't have any equipment? What do you mean? I was like, I was borrowing stuff and everything. He was like, well, how much stuff costs? And I was like, X amount of dollars. He was like, all right. He was like, you know, run me to the house real quick. That's what my uncle does, whatever.
Yes.
Take him home, drop him off. We get in the house. He said, wait in the car, I'll be right back. Take him back home. Came out. He came back out in the car and he handed me all the money that I had, told him how much everything would cost. He said, you know what? You have a gift and you have a passion for doing something, and I know you love what you do and you're good at it. You need to pursue that. Yeah. He gave me the money to get started, my own business, basically, to get my own equipment. And I bought my turntables, my mixer, and everything I needed right there on the spot. I ordered it out of New York City. They sent it to me. And I told him, I was just taken aback. I was like, are you serious? And I took that money and got the equipment, and I told him, I said, I promise I'll pay you back. And as I started doing more and more events, I took that money and I paid him back. And a lot of people don't know that part of the story about how I actually got my equipment. And, you know, I tell everybody, but I was like, yeah, somebody believed in me enough. And that's what I try to pass on to everybody else. You know, now I'm blessed to look back at this. I've been doing this 30 years, been DJing. So it's been more of a labor of love. I love doing it. I did it when I wasn't getting paid one penny. And I didn't care. I love doing it. You know, I was always told, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. So that's how I took DJing. And it's just been an awesome feeling to know that I've been able to be a part of so many people's major events. I mean, I look back and all the weddings and birthdays and graduations and family reunions and corporate events and everything I've been able to do and how that impacted people. And to be able to move people and make them feel good through music, can't put a price tag on. So that is the biggest feeling that I get out of this. You know, I always tell people, I said, there's nothing better in the world, you know, and I don't care if it's 5 people in a room, and I've been blessed enough to rock over 4,000, 5,000 people. And I'm saying there's no difference. But to see those people sweating and having a good time and talking about my feet are killing me and the hair is filling out, the ladies like my makeup running, I'm like, that's it. Yeah. You made my night. And you can't put a price tag on that. So that's kind of like my story, how I came about and to where I am today, you know. So here 30 years still doing it, loving it.
Man, you said you dropped some nuggets in there while you were talking. Hopefully a lot of people are listening to this, is that when you want to work in something that you love, first of all, that's a passion. First of all, You got to have a love for it and be
Absolutely
willing almost to say, you know what, this is something I'll do even if I'm not getting paid. I will do this type of job.
Yeah.
And that's the same passion I have had as an actor when I started my career.
Right.
Secondly, you became a student.
Yeah.
Student of the art, of the craft.
Have to.
Yeah. You took it seriously. It was like, I got to sit there. I got to watch. I got to pay attention. I got to pay my dues.
Absolutely. Trust me, I pay my dues like in this game, you pay a lot.
And lastly, somebody believed in you.
Yeah.
And invested in you.
That's huge.
That's
huge. A lot of people don't understand that piece of it is that, you could have all the passion in the world and all the tools in the world, but sometimes you just need that little push that somebody believes in you to help you take it to that next level. And, a lot of times when you say, especially coming up, you're like, you're a DJ. They're like, what do? You ain't doing nothing but playing some music or whatever. And it's like, you ain't really doing no work. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, you have no idea. And then, to the average person, I always tell them, I said, all you know is that when you showed up the event, music was playing. And when you left, music was still playing. Nobody sees everything in between. When I do weddings, it's an 8, 7, 8, 9, 10-hour day for me. I start from the time I load up my trailer with all my equipment, and that may be at noon. And I may not get home till 2 a.m. by the time I'm done with everything. So, it's a lot that goes on to it. But like I said, when somebody's believing in you and backing you and giving you that support, it's amazing. You feel like there's nothing you can't do,
Man, Philonda just added a comment. Philonda, she loved the rail too. My wife is Philonda. So.
That's my girl, the Queen. What's happening?
She said it takes only one person to believe in us before we take off with our passion.
Yeah.
And I mean that too, Darrell, with you, that when I win my awards and have my parties out here, you and Kelly getting on the plane to come out here and you got a DJ out here.
Yes, sir.
I was like, you are the one. We go way too far back.
Oh man, look.
I was
go
like,
no, car seats.
Yes, exactly, way back. The broke ones. The broke ones.
Exactly. Remember them days.
You were saying some very profound things when you talked about the fact that people be like, oh, you just DJ, you just that. They don't understand what it takes, the invested time that you put before and after and during. Can you give us just a quick flyover of what it looks like when once a contract is signed and that day comes when you got to go and handle an event? How is that for a DJ?
Oh, for me, it's hectic, but it's a great chaos. You get a rush every time I do an event. I still get a rush. To this day, I get excited. So getting up that morning, and up until that event, make sure I'm always ultra prepared, overly prepared sometimes.
Yes.
And you got to do that. That's the one thing about in this game. You learn. You'll have your mistakes and things that'll happen, but you got to learn from them so you don't do that. And then you also got to take it seriously. People are trusting you with one of the most important days of their life. You're talking about a wedding. That's a monumental moment in someone's life. And you do not want to be the one to mess that up. So, I took a lot of work and a lot of time to get to my reputation to where it was. So, the night before, I make sure I get all my information together, have all my lists and everything. And a lot of it's difficult because I'm a one-man show. I do it all myself. So extra onus is always on me, which is fine. I like that because I'm like, at the end of the day, if anything goes wrong, I ain't got nobody to blame but myself. But the day before, I'm getting everything ready, make sure my clothes are all ready to go, what I'm wearing that day. Then at that point, loading up, I usually arrive at every event, especially for weddings and everything else, at least 3 to 4 or 5 hours prior to it starting.
Really?
So yeah, and that's the reason because when you go to different venues, a lot of times they're typically set up the same way, but then again, you always have a spot where you go and you go, man, I didn't know they didn't have an elevator. Okay, so now I got stairs to deal with. I actually posted a video one time where I had to do an event. I was downtown Cleveland. Everybody's like, oh, you going to the hotel? You're going to be at the Ritz-Carlton and everything. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't fun. And what ended up happening, I had to, I have the trailer on all my equipment. Well, you can't just park a trailer in downtown Cleveland anywhere like you pull up a car or pull up a truck. No. So I had to go to the parking garage. And when I got to the parking garage, it's like, where am I going to put this trailer? And they got valets and there's nowhere to go. And they're like, well, you can't leave it here. I'm like, you got to unload your equipment, get it up to where you got to go, and then you got to move your vehicle.
Yes.
So I actually had to go through the kitchen, through the loading docks, through the kitchen to get to the elevators, up the elevators, through the other kitchen to get through there to another room and then finally into the ballroom. And it literally took me probably an hour, maybe hour and a half, just to get my stuff into the room where I'm supposed to do the event.
Oh, man.
So this is the reason it was funny. And I was like, you know, DJ life, and I videoed it, you know, for people to see what we have to deal with. I can't just walk through the front doors and go upstairs to the hall that you're going to have where the regular folks come in, you know, with your patrons. So I had to do that. And people were just like, wow. I'm like, yeah. I said, this is the part you don't see.
Right.
So that's the reason why I arrive at a venue so early, because you just never know. And then you never know. You may get there and realize, okay, I didn't have enough extension cord. Maybe I need more room because they don't have outlets closer where I need to be. Or if it's an outdoor venue, what's going to happen if the weather changes all of a sudden? So I have to have a backup plan. So you have to kind of be forward thinking about all the things that could possibly go wrong.
Wow.
Not that they will, but you got to think about that. Do I have enough batteries for all my microphones? Do I have enough coax? Do I have enough tape to make sure everything's taped down? Do I have the right setup for this particular room? Do I have enough sound that I need to bring? You know, so sometimes you can't get into a place prior to or know, or, you know, maybe just because of the arrangements, but then, you know, you have everything you need. So when you get there, you can survey it, be there, and like, okay, now we're good to go. And then once we're there, set up, go everything, meet with the families, the couples and everything, and then kind of go through the whole agenda as we have through the night. And, you know, pretty much, you know, I started this maybe about 11 that morning, 9 to 10 that morning. And by the time the event's over, you know, most weddings are usually from 6 p.m. till about 11 p.m.-ish. Yeah. Maybe 12. And then after that, it's tear down. And, you know, I'm like first in, last out all the time at an event. So, you know, we have a very long night. Us and the staff of the facility for the last 2 weeks usually leave. So like I say, my days are very long, but I commit to those folks because I'm not one of those guys that try to book 2 events in one night and try to be here, pay to be there. I tell people, when you have me, you got me all night. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not running off to do another event. I'm not going to send anybody in my place. But it's just a matter of being organized and being professional about everything, because, you know, people are trusting their most precious and important moment of their life with me. And I want to make sure it's the best. And I mean, I've been blessed enough to do, you know, hundreds of weddings over 30 some years. And even happier to say that most of these folks are still together.
That's really good.
Oh, it's always nice to say, man, they've been together 20 years. I remember when I did, I'm like, wow, I did your wedding 20 years ago? I'm like, that's crazy to me. It trips me out.
I love the way you're breaking this down, because this is going to help people get a whole nother level of respect for your craft, because I can relate. Because when I started acting and really going full time with it, people was like, "Oh, I see you doing your little acting thing."
Right.
I said, "Little acting thing." I was like, "Do you realize what's invested in this?"
Most people have no idea, man. They have no idea.
I was like, "This is life or death for me."
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much. You know, it's like, wow. People have no idea, you know, and I try to explain to people, and even, you know, my thing is going back to when people are believing in you, helping you. You know, I've been blessed enough to be able to do this and you know, make money doing it and things like that. You know, I'm not a rich man by no standards, but at the same token, I'm comfortable and life is good, and I'm blessed. So if I can help somebody else get to that point and follow their passion and do what they like to do the same way I did, I'm always willing to help somebody. But, you know, I'm like my mom always told me, I said, I can't help anybody that's not willing to help themselves. And, you know, in this generation now, I always say, you know, I tell my kids, I say, you guys are the microwave generation. You guys want it right now. Yeah. But you don't want to put in all the work that gets to that point. And that determines whether or not you're going to make it in this business, or anything you do for that matter, because it translates to anything you do. I don't care if you're building widgets and you're DJing, or you're acting, or if you're a garbage man, or whatever you do. If you don't put the effort and the passion behind doing it, you know, you're not going to do it well. You're not going to do it long.
No, you are not going to last. You are not going to last.
This world will eat you up and spit you out real quick, you know.
Man, let me add something right here. My man, Coach Willie Newton.
Yes, sir.
Been knowing him for a very long time. You know, he don't know this, but he's gonna be on the podcast in the near future. But he just said nothing is little about that journey, bro. Oh, he's talking to me. That's okay.
Okay,
They,
right.
they will know soon enough. But he talking. You know what? With both of us, he talking. But I wanted to say, man, with you sharing this whole thing about the journey and everything that you've had to do daily with setup and stuff, that had to cause you to say, man, I need to have my body in a certain way too.
Oh, man, look.
So is that one
you,
of the things that led you to going to this next level of?
Oh,
is that Kenny Rule?
that Kenny Rule in there?
Yeah, what's up, Kenny?
Kenny Rule, what's up, bro?
Hey, we proud of you too, man.
That's what's up, Rule. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Believe it, the DJ life it's a tough life in terms of the hours we keep.
Yes.
We're up late, you're long, and there's nothing good to eat when you're up late at night. Nothing but bad food. So
that's it.
I've always been an athlete coming up, play sports, so I was always in decent shape. But as time goes on, I kind of let myself go, and I gained some weight and was comfortable. But at the same token, I was uncomfortable with my skin because I was just like, yo, I'm getting too big. I ain't doing no eating wrong stuff. And over the years, I kind of put on some weight. Next thing I know, you're dealing with blood pressure. You're dealing with maybe, the borderline cholesterol, high blood pressure runs in my family. And I was like, okay, I got to get under control. And then I had sleep apnea. So like in around 2002 or 3, I knew I had sleep apnea. Okay. And I wore CPAP for about 9 years. And, mainly they were like, you just need to lose some weight. And for those that don't know what sleep apnea is, like you sleep and, people say you're snoring. Yeah, well, snoring, what happens is you stop breathing in your sleep, and it's a period of time that and my wife was like looking at me, she's like, you be sawing wood 1 second and the next thing you know is total silence. And she's like, what happened? She's nudging me like, get up, wake up, and you stop breathing. And I was literally stopped breathing for like 30 seconds at a time. One time she timed it and she was like, okay, you need to get this checked out. Long end of it, I ended up having that. So I had those things I was dealing with, and keeping this lifestyle, you're up late and you're tired and you gotta keep going.
Yes.
So I was like, I got to do something to take care of myself and start taking back control of my life and my health. So I started working out. So, I've been on this journey, this fitness and weight loss journey for about 8, 9, 10 years. Off and on. So, you get on, you do some things, and you kind of fall back. And then I lost about 50 pounds at one point, and then I was good. But then it was like I kind of gained some of it back. And then about 2 years ago, I was doing an event, and with my trainer, who I've been training with now, Philly Wheaton, bless that brother. He looking out for me, and he got me.
Who's that trainer again?
That would be Philly Wheaton. Yes,
okay.
Philly Wheaton, yes, sir. He was on, man, worldwide, him and his brother. And we got together, did an event, and I was like, yo, I really want you to train me. He was like, really? He was like, okay. So I was like, yeah, I do. And he happened to have a slot, and I went to start training with him, and he put me through this regimen and everything, and I started to lose the weight. And when I started with him 2 years ago, I was at 250 pounds, and today I'm at 190. So I've been working with him, learning mentally, which most people don't realize. The physical journey is more of a mental. With the fitness journey, more of a mental thing than it is the physical. You can work out all day, but if you're not locked in mentally, it doesn't matter. You will fall off. You'll have days, and don't get me wrong, I'm human. I have bad days and good days, and you still just got to find a way to dig through and push through. And so continue to do that. I knew I had to get my body back in shape. Plus, I want to be here for my family, my kids, my wife, so I'm like, it's bigger than just, I'm DJing or whatever. I'm like, I got to be here for me, because you and I both know, I just turned 50 this year, and it's like, there's too many people around us that we know that are younger than us that have passed away. It's like these people we went to school with, that we grew up with, we're like, yo, 50 ain't old.
It's like, I ain't trying to check out.
We're not supposed to be looking at these folks and going, hey, this person's not here, and it's like, whoa, that's not good. So all of them kind of pushed me to be and get myself together, and as a result, I share my journey with a lot of people on social media, because I know that struggle that everybody deals with, because I've been there. You can't tell me. I was that big dude, so when people see the pictures and they go, wow, that was you were big, and I'm like, yeah, but I didn't want to be that guy no more. And I made a decision, and and they're like, well, I need to get with your trainer, I need to get with you. I'm like, no, you don't. You just need to get your mind right.
Right here.
Once you get your mind right, then the rest of it is going to fall into place. You're not going to really have a problem. You can do it. But I put myself out there and post things, my workouts and what I eat. It's not to brag or anything like that. It's to let you know, look, I know I've been there. So I know you were in that same spot. I've been where you were. So
Right.
I know what it takes. So don't tell me, I don't know. Yes, I know, but I know how hard it is. But if you want it bad enough, you just got to work and push yourself through it. And I'll do anything I can to help you because I want to see everybody win. That's just who I am. I want everybody to win. So if I can get it and I can give you a little nugget here, a little tip here to do it, great. But you got to do it, So
I'm smiling so much because I feel your energy through my IG, but also see how happy you are. And you and I both know what we had to deal with at one point when we worked together. And we won't even talk about the company and nothing like that, but just how we just wasn't in our purpose. How draining it was on us. And I'm looking at you. I was like, man, Darrell's just like living a life. I want to tell you something. You are rich. You said earlier you're not rich. You are rich. You are rich. You are rich in happiness. You are rich in family. You are rich in your health. Man, absolutely. You can't put a price tag on that. You can't. There's people who have big bank accounts and who are miserable.
Miserable. Oh, I received that. I told people a long time ago when I was working in corporate America, and I was there and I bounced around from company to company and did it for like 20-some years. And I was probably the most unhappy I'd ever been. Made good money, but was unhappy and unhealthy. And that was contributing to my health problems. Stress, it was always that what have you done for me lately type mentality. And I always try to be forward thinking and proactive. And I was like, I'm going to leave this company eventually. I need to put something in place. And by the grace of God, they actually let me go. And I remember I called my wife that day when they let me go. And I was like, you know what? As crazy as this may sound, I said, I'm actually glad they did. Because I said it was a load off of me. And I was just like, shoulders. I was like, ooh, I feel good. I feel rejuvenated. They was like, you just lost your job. I was like, yeah, but I'm free.
Yes.
And I tell you what, I made less money than I was when I was doing the corporate thing at that time. But I said, I am so happy that I said I'm at peace. And I see these same people that are still there. I say, you still there? They be like, yeah, I'm just trying. I'm like, man, but you don't look happy. I said, I'm good. I said, I've been blessed tremendously with that because it gave me more time to be with my kids, help them with school, be there for all their events when they needed it. And that most people don't think about it, but that means a big thing. When you can be there for your children on these big moments, because I used to have to struggle and pull teeth to get off of work just to be at a presentation where they're getting an award and they're giving you like the blues. And I'm like, are you crazy? My kids, I got to hurry up and get back to work to do what they want. Man, please, I'm good.
Man,
good.
For everybody who has signed on, thank you for signing on. You are listening and watching RDC Speak Life Sessions. I have my special guest, DJ RELLERELL, also known as Darrell Newsom. And we're going to talk about how you can stay connected with him. His life is so inspiring to me. Known him over 30 years. We were college friends. I watched him, and he don't know this, but I've always looked up to him. And so I've always looked at you like he's like one of my big brothers. So I'm only a year and a half younger, but I look up to you though. I've always looked up to you. Philonda had a question. She said, how do you find balance with work and marriage? And then she also said she's so proud of your journey to the healthy lifestyle too.
Thank you so much. The balance hasn't been as hard. I mean, it's tough, but I think when I had to realize, and I've been blessed enough to have my wife, we've been together 30 some years. We've been married 21. So it's like when you have support in what you're doing and we work together as a team, it makes it a little bit easier. So it helps it out because we do everything together. That's where our relationship is. So it makes it easier, but it's a lot of juggling, and that's a commitment on both of our sides because there are days, when we were married, my wife went back to school to finish, and she was pregnant with our youngest son at the time, and it was like, okay, she going, and I got to hold the weight down and make sure to take care of the other kids while she's in school and working, and she was working full time, going to school and pregnant at the same time. And it was like, whoa. So it's a matter of commitment on both sides. And then once everything was done, you start to balance. Okay, we got kids here. We got AAU basketball tournaments. We got 2 kids playing here. We got one that's got a concert here. And it's like, we got to stay in shape. We got to do this. We got to do that. And it's just a matter of trusting one another, communicating. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. people laugh at us to this day. You know, me and my wife, we've never fought. We never had an argument. We've had disagreements, but we don't argue, you know, and anything. We discuss everything. So there's an issue, we put it on the table and say, okay, how do we need to address this? What do we need to do? How are we gonna fix this? And come to an agreement and do that. We always made a vow when we got married, we never go to bed mad.
All right.
You know, there's something on your mind. I'm not gonna be sleeping next night with your fist balled up because they mad about it.
Yeah, man, that's a dangerous place to be.
But it's more of just communicating is probably the biggest key, and that's been the biggest factor in our marriage, that we always talk about everything and make sure everybody understands the lines of communication, so there's no, you know, misunderstanding. No, this is what I meant, this is what I said. Now we understand. Let's move forward and let's fix this and do this. And then it's a balance, you know. But you know, you got to do it. I love to cook, so that's not a problem. I'll cook if I need to cook. You know, I'll pick up who I need to pick up. So, and it's a respect thing too, because, you know, she works hard, I work hard, but we got to understand everybody's boundaries. So I know when she's at a point, she might be to her limit. I'm like, all right, let me pick up here and let her have her time. And so it's a balance of everything, even when you need your own time. You know, she's got her girls' trip she do every year with her girlfriends. Right. You need them. I got a trip. I may go play golf with my buddies, or we just may hook up and do music or whatever, but you need to have that outlet. So to keep a balance of making sure you don't lose your identity in your marriage and in everything you do, and let everybody still be who you are, because it's nothing different than when we were married and before we got married. It's just we're together now. So things can change.
It's Sunday, man. I'm already start playing the organ and give you an offering, man. You keep talking because it's like you preaching. You like giving, like, this is really solid. This is information people don't understand and don't really apply. And we complicate it. Yeah. You know, but, you know, communication, you know, me and Philanda are growing in that area too. It's like, and one thing we're finding is as the kids are getting grown, we're like, oh, now we need to get to know each other again.
It's funny how you do that. We were up playing games last night with the boys. We were playing the game of life. And what was so funny about it is that we hadn't played the game in probably, man, we got a ton of board games. It's probably been about over 10 years. Wow. But when we played it 10 years ago, our lives were different, even with the kids. So we didn't understand the game as much. But when we're playing it now, and my middle son is 19 and the youngest one is 15, life is different and they understand the game totally different. Even we were playing it different. We were like, yeah, this is our life. This is what we're doing now. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to do this. And it was like, wow, amazing how time changes, how your mindset readjusts, you know, and that. During this whole COVID thing, that's all we've had to do is learn to adapt and adjust, you know. Man, so we can get a lot of practice with that.
You are just setting me up, man. You like throwing alley-oops for this interview. You making it real easy because you just talking about COVID. You just helped me with another segue I was getting ready to go to. Oh, but before I do that, Rose said, can we follow her? We will check out your profile, and we won't make a promise, but we'll check out your profile and we'll let you know. You might, if you see the follow, then you got it. But thank you for being in. And, you know, I'm going to check out your profile. We'll check it out afterward. So thank you for being in the chat, though. I wanted to acknowledge you for bringing that up. So we're talking COVID. Now,
yes, sir.
Everything stops. Events, everything goes away.
Right.
It's a wrap. You had stuff planned for April, May, June. You're like, oh, what am I going to do? So all of a sudden, I see you DJing live every single day, just about. And we're loving it. How did this come about? And just bring us in and even tell us how they can view it. You know, make sure everybody know how they can watch it.
So when all this started, you know, I've been DJing all the time, and I used to DJ live every now and then, just when I had some time. But most of the time I was just busy and didn't have time to do it. So when everything was officially on lockdown, it was like, everybody's like, man, I ain't got nothing to do. I'm kind of going a little stir crazy. And in the beginning, we didn't know what was going on with the whole lockdown. So I said, you know what? Let me just DJ. I'm going to go live real quick. People need a release. I need a release. Music makes me at peace. So I was like, I'm just going to go live. So I was streaming live, and in my neighborhood and my friends and people in the neighborhood, they was like, oh, we're having a good time. And we were just having fun. So, you know, I started doing it one night, then they were like, I needed that so much. The kids were we were having a great time. Are you gonna do it again? And I was like, all right, sure. So what started from like, you know, an hour here, maybe an hour and a half there, it started turning into doing this night in, night out. And I was like, well, look, we on lockdown. Let's have some fun with this while we're here. Yeah. Let's release. Let's have a dance party, you know, and it was starting to become, everybody was starting to do these virtual parties. All the DJs were doing it, but it was getting frustrating because with Facebook and things like that, they were kicking me out like every 20 minutes. And it was like, okay, got to log back in, got started off with doing this. And it was just so annoying. And I was like, there's got to be a venue or an avenue for us to do something. And it's been going around with a lot of DJs across the country trying to figure out where we can go. All of us aren't blessed enough to have the biggest following like D-Nice when he first did it, and then know people like Zuckerberg, so who can allow him just to be on without a problem, you know.
Right.
He had the plug. So
yeah,
I looked around and I started came across Twitch. And my kids have told me about Twitch because they're gamers. And what it is, it's a gaming community. And it's basically made for gamers. And if you haven't noticed, the gaming community in that gaming industry is huge. It's $1 billion industry. And I mean, to the point where these kids, the gaming industry they're on ESPN. Yeah. Okay. They got their own network channel going on when they do these tournaments. So it's huge.
Right.
They had an avenue where you could go streaming. And they were starting to get more DJs in there. And there wasn't a big DJ market. It's still growing, but there was a market for DJs to do it. So I went on and looked up the information, studied it, found out about it, and I said, let me try it. And what I found was that I was able to stream nonstop. No interruptions. Wasn't getting kicked out. And I was like, So I started digging more into it. So I said, well, tell you what. I told all my people, I said, let me find out more about it. I created my own channel. And I said, you know, don't worry about it on Facebook. Come over here to Twitch. Switch to Twitch. Switch to Twitch because it gets frustrating when you're doing it. So I was like, now I had to think outside the box too. I'm always forward thinking because I said, as a result of this COVID, I'm a DJ. I rely on the social communication and social gatherings to make a living.
Yes.
Well, everything that I had lined up for the summer, which for me is the busiest time of the year, with weddings, graduations, birthdays, reunions, corporate events, everything was getting canceled. So now I'm like, whoa, okay, we got to readjust here. We got to figure out what we're going to do because all of us in the entertainment industry are dealing with this. We can't work.
Yeah.
So for me, the summertime's when I make the most of my money and everything because I'm working all the way through September, October with weddings.
Yes.
The thing to this point now has been officially canceled. I've been trying to get people to postpone. So I was like, well, we're going to do things virtually because that's going to be the way it's going to be. And I got to think down the line how I'm going to continue to work during this downtime. So I started working and doing virtual dance parties and virtual parties in their houses. So I was telling people, set up some in your room, in your house. Invite your friends, you know, your family over while we can be, you know, social thing. But do it there. But then I was like, you know what? You guys can connect to me. I can't physically see you, but we have a chat room. And my wife, she's always wanted, you know, always told my wife, I always say, you have a beautiful voice for radio. And I was like,
she was really good.
She was living her dream. She does. Thank you. She was living her dream. I said, I want you to be here with me. Yeah. You know, because music is the one thing that connected us from day one.
Yeah.
That's what all brought us together as our union was music. So she's an old head music. I'm a new school kind of music. And we put the both of the worlds together. And it was like, man, we're unstoppable. Now we can do it all. So I put her on the show with me. I'm like, you need to be here because she was working the chat room and everything. And what ended up happening, all those people became like family. So over this COVID, over the whole, you know, I've been streaming since we've been down, which has been like the last week in March.
Yeah.
I've been going 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Twitch.
And that's Eastern? That's Eastern time?
Yes, I'm sorry, Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Standard Time, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
So and 4 o'clock for me out here.
4 o'clock for you. Mm-hmm. And then what ended up happening is that, you know, I always said, this is your show for the people. Because of them, they were able to give me a platform to do something else because, you know, when I wasn't doing it for money or anything like that, but people were like, man, you're blessing me. You're making our families feel good. People were sending me money, like donations. Like, I'm like, whoa, I'm not asking for money. I'm like, yo, I'm just doing this because I was blessed enough to have an ability and a gift to make people feel good with music. And I love making people feel good. That's why I started DJing in the first place, is the feeling it gave me. And I was like, wow. So I was really taken aback that people were sending me like money. I was like, whoa. So I said, okay, well, let me do this and let me pay it forward. So I would pay it forward by, you know, somebody else is in the situation. I send them money and just do what I could to help them out because, you know, a lot of us people in the hair industry, they can't work. You know, my barbers and all of them and hair salons and stuff. So, you know, I took that money to help get my channel going. So I would start putting money towards that and set up my own studio, which I'm sitting in right now. So we turned the basement in the other room into my studio, so
Yes.
where I stream from. So you see everything in the background. I'm old school. These are all albums behind me, album covers, except for that Prince poster. That's a real poster.
Oh, I'm loving it.
These are all albums. So I was like, we turned the room into the studio. I got my lights and everything. I picked up another camera and boom, started doing this. So I said, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
Yeah.
So as a result of this, I've been doing this, and now I've been, you know, reaching a whole nother community. I've been able to talk to people, and people that have been streaming into my show are talking to people from the UK, from Nova Scotia, from New Zealand, from France, from, you know, a lot of Cali love.
Wow.
A lot of people in California, the Bay Area. So I've been meeting people all over the world, and it's really been taking me aback. Like, and I mean, these people are on faithfully every night. So I knew, you know, eventually people are going to not be able to follow me as much because they're going back to work. You know, they're getting back to the normalcy. So I don't have that captive audience there. But what's happened is I've been able to create a following over on Twitch community, which is worldwide.
Yes.
Now I've been talking to DJs across the country, and they're like, yo, we got to work together. So now I'm in the process of doing things with them, and they're showing me how we can do this and make money doing the things we do already. Wow. So it's turned into another business plan for me, and a platform, you know, where I was trying to get people, and people wanted to sponsor and be on my show and advertise their business. I was like, we can do that. You know, that's I'm trying to help everybody else, and people need to know about your business, especially during the COVID.
Yes.
We're getting back to getting the economy restarted, and people need to know what you do.
Right.
And, you know, the small businesses, even like myself, are the ones that are having the hardest time getting back on their feet. So we can let people know what you got to offer, what kind of business you have, and we can get you some more exposure. Hey, awesome, do that. Win.
Man.
Get back, eat. I'm like I said, people have been blessing me. I'm like, all I can do is try to bless you back by giving you some information, some platform to put your information out there. So, man, it's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. I'm having a great time, you know.
You know, the whole time while you were talking, this Bible passage was going through my head. Your gift will make room for you. Your gift will make room for you.
Man,
and you're using your gift. Your gift is what's providing for you. And it's allowed you to continue to flourish even during a pandemic. And I tell most people, most millionaires are born during this time. Adversity.
Hey, Jack Barron, what's up, buddy?
Because you're forced to be creative, and you are forced to have to really get outside of your box.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, and really have to see what else do I really want to do with my life.
Sometimes you got to be made uncomfortable to get into a place, and I think about it.
Yeah,
you know more than anybody, especially when we talk back in the day in terms of, you know, Rodney was like, you know, I'm about to stop the church and I'm about to go to Hollywood and do my thing. Okay, that's your calling. You go do that, and you go be great at it. So let me know when you get situated, and then we'll go from there. And I check up on you, and I'm like, look at Rod. I'm looking on TV. I'm like, wait a minute, is that Rod? I'm like, that brother said he was going to do it, so I didn't have no doubt, you know. So
I got to say, God is good on that, man, because that has been a crazy journey. And
bro, I know.
Philanda will attest to it first. She will be first to testify that it's been a crazy journey.
I know it has, but like I said, through the grace of God and keeping y'all together like that, that's why it's working.
Yeah.
That's why it's working.
Yeah. Man,
you
know, we got another question, too.
Yes, sir.
Are you still building the cooking show? we love Chef RELLERELL. See, we haven't even talked about Chef RELLERELL.
Yeah,
and
so the whole
we got about 5 minutes for you to talk about Chef RELLERELL, and then we'll transition. So
with my fitness journey, you know, everybody was like, what are you eating? What are you doing? And this, that, and that. So I was like, you know, I'm at a point now where I can kind of eat what I want, but I don't eat crazy.
Yeah.
But I know what I need to eat. So I was giving people different ideas, and I would post my meals. So messed around and got this air fryer and everything, and I was doing some things there, and I was like, wow, this is a nice, quicker way to make good food, but it was cutting down on my prep time. So people were like, I need to see your meal. So I started doing this, my mixing in the kitchen. Mixing in the kitchen with, you know, DJ RELLERELL, aka the chef, the fit DJ. So that's kind of become my moniker as well in the fitness world, is I'm the fit DJ, because I work out and play music, and now I cook too. Yeah. So I started posting different kind of meals that I would prepare that a lot of people would like to eat. You know, from salmon to chicken and shrimp and scallops, and, you know, I always said eating healthy doesn't have to be bad. You know, you just got to prepare the right way. You know, not as fattening, not as greasy, not fried as much, things like that. So the air fryer was a healthier alternative in cooking. So I started doing a lot of those meals and everything. So I was putting shows, about 15-minute segments on how I did stuff. And then we got kind of, with the whole COVID thing, things kind of got shut down. And then my direction got kind of pushed more into my music.
Yes.
Which I've always done. So I still cook. I just hadn't been able to post any of the meals or anything else in terms of any cooking shows. So the show is still going on.
Yeah.
I'm just on a little small hiatus, and I'm trying to balance all of that out as well in terms of doing that. I mean, I do a lot of music as well for all the fitness and all the gyms. So I've been getting hit up left and right by all the instructors trying to get this workout music together. But I'm just so busy, with my show, which is crazy. People don't understand. I'm like, I've been working harder during this COVID than I was before the COVID, which is crazy, but it is what it is. And it's been working. So I'm having a ball with it, but I'm going to continue to put meals out and show people how to make things. And, if they have any suggestions, I always tell them, hit me up, let me know, and I'll try it. I have a test kitchen. I do that all the time. People say, what about this? I said, And that's really what happened.
Yeah.
I would look at cooking shows all day, every day, and see something that I like, and I said, let me put my spin on it. That's kind of how I created a lot of different meals and say, okay, well, I can do this and try this. I don't really like those, but I'll try this, cut back on this, and then, let people see it and see how they like it. And I got a lot of good feedback from that. So
yeah,
that's been a lot of help too in terms of helping people with their fitness journeys. You got to eat right. I was telling my trainer, everybody would tell you can't outwork out a bad diet.
You can't.
Don't work. Can't happen. Don't work. Been there, done that. Not gonna happen. So
I was gonna ask you, or this is even a suggestion from somebody who works in TV production.
Yeah.
You may want to think about doing a cooking show or something like you treat it as seasons. Like you'll just record 10 to 15 episodes and then put them all out, once a week. And
get my Tyler Perry bag.
Yeah, exactly. Just group them together.
The funny part about it is I actually was doing that when I did the first 3 episodes. I filmed them all at the same time because I broke them up in segments because I did different meals. So I'm still working on that. I just had to get back into my chef bag in terms of what I was going to prepare because, try to continue to think outside the box on a healthy tip in terms of giving people options. Because what happened, the hardest thing about working out, it is when you're eating, they're like, I'm eating the same chicken. I'm tired of eating chicken. I'm tired of eating tuna.
Exactly.
We want to flip it a little bit and try to, switch it up a little bit. So I try to give people options.
Man, you got a compliment on here too. I think it's from Jack Barron Music.
Yeah, Jack.
Said you have some of the best DJ streaming on Twitch, in my opinion. So
thanks, Jack. Jack is one of my followers from the UK.
Oh, hey, what's up, Jack?
Jack is awesome. He is a great person. And I tell you what, Jack has been with me really from the beginning and came across my channel. And Jack has been rocking with me every single night. He's literally one of the first people in the chat every time I go live. Wow. So shout out to you, Jack, in the UK. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Man, you shared so many nuggets during this time. I was like, we're almost at the close. We probably got.
I can talk to you forever, bro.
Man, if Instagram didn't shut us off, because they keep you on that limit. Yeah, they keep you on that limit with the IGTV. So with the TV show and the podcast, But I think this is something we probably got to revisit in the future as well,
sure.
Because what you've been doing, you've shown people 3 ways in which you've attacked this whole pandemic. You didn't let it stop you.
Not at all.
That's why I tell so many people, I was like, this isn't time to panic. This is time to prepare. This is time to plan. So you can prosper. It really is. I just said 3 P's. I am an ex-minister, so I'm still a minister, but you know what I'm saying. But
of course,
you got to put some rhyme in there. You always have to do something.
Always got bars. Always got bars.
Yeah. Can you share the various channels and the ways that everybody can subscribe to your cooking channel, the Twitch, and how you want people to keep in touch with you after this interview today as well?
Well, obviously I'm mostly on IG, and you can see me on Facebook, but on IG and Twitter, I'm at DJ RELLERELL, the same, DJ RELLERELL.
Yes.
That's on Instagram and on Twitter. Facebook is my name, Darrell.Newsom, or also RELLERELL Productions. I have 2 pages, and everything is RELL, all one word, RELLERELL.
Yes.
And then on my Twitch channel is the main thing I really been pushing a lot of and doing a lot there. I don't even stream on Facebook anymore or IG. You want to see me, go to Twitch. And that's twitch.tv DJ RELLERELL. That's RELLERELL. Go there. From there, you can find all my links from there. And that's what I do mostly there. My YouTube channel is basically it's DJ RELLERELL, or you can find me under the Fit DJ. Mixing in the Kitchen are my shows that I was doing. And I got about 10 or 11 episodes up there. They're only 15 minutes. I try to keep them short.
Yeah, that's good.
So you can see what you need to do, and then you can always hit me up, either instant message me on IG or Facebook, Twitter. You know, I'm open to help anybody out. You know, if you need any help, I'll do what I can to help you out or give you some tips, or if you just want to chat, got no problem with that at all. I'm getting a lot of love and a lot of people I'm talking to on Twitch now, which has been awesome. Like I said, I've been opening up and talking to people all over the world, which has been amazing to me. So, you know, I got a lot of UK family now, and a lot of you know, New Zealand and France and all over Brazil, you know, and all over the States. So it's been awesome, and just learning from everybody. And, you know, we're all working together still try to get through all of this. So I think at the end of the day, we're going to be all right.
Man, we're going to be better than all right. And you also have merch, because I have a DJ RELLERELL shirt. You remember I bought
yes, you were the first ones to get one.
Yeah, you know,
right.
How can they get some merch? And also, I know you also put together mixes and stuff for people, so you know.
Well, if you hit me up on any of my messages on IG, on Facebook, on Twitch, you can send me a message. I got flash drives of all my shows that I've been doing. So I've been, you know, selling those $15. You can get a flash drive, hit me up, I'll mail them to you and get those out to you. So that's easy to catch up with me there. The merch, I'm actually working on some things now, so they're not available yet. But I'm in the process of seeing about redesigning my website, and also just getting them out so I can distribute them to folks. So hopefully in the next week or two or so, I'll hopefully have some merch. And you get T-shirts, tank tops, workout gear.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to have a little some of everything for everybody to keep the brand out there. So RELLERELL Productions gear is coming soon. So stay tuned.
And if you can give us, today is Sunday.
Yes.
This is the first day of the week. So can you give us something to take us through Friday to next Sunday? Some type of wisdom, some motivation that can keep us grinding and keep us focused in spite of what we're dealing with.
I would just let everybody know, look, all of you out there have been wonderful during this COVID. It's been crazy for everybody, and everybody's been put in a different situation. But I always remember this. Remember, you are great. You are destined to be great, and you're going to be great. So go out there and find your greatness, okay? Mm-hmm. This is a time we're all being challenged to figure out, you know, it's either kind of sink or swim. But it's been a good opportunity, you know, because everything happens for a reason. Like I say, God, you got to remember, God is in control. And I'm not trying to get on any religious pedestal, but you got to remember who's in control. You talking
relationship, though. You talking relationship. So.
Exactly. It's about relationships. So you got to remember who's in control, and it's about what you do with what's been given to you. Yes. So take this opportunity to tackle on the things that may have been troubling you, because this has been putting a lot of people in a lot of situations. Do you realize some of the biggest and greatest businesses have been started during a tragic time, or during a controversial and a pandemic type situation? So, you know, think about it. You know, Microsoft and Apple and all these companies were all started, Amazon, all this was started during these crazy times. So figure out what you want to do with yourself and go get it. Pursue it. You know, what's stopping you is yourself. Yes. There's nothing in front of you but opportunity. And, you know, I say nothing beats failure but a try. You know, those who fail to plan to fail. So, you know, I can drop all kinds of those cliche nuggets, but it is what it is. And it's all about what you want to do. Everybody's great. Be great. Go out there and be a great. And I tell my kids all the time, great kids do what? They do great things. So I continue to live by that moniker. Be great.
Yes.
Go out there and do it.
Man,
nothing stop.
Appreciate that, man, that knowledge right there. And I just wanted to kind of piggyback and just let people know that we all have an individual journey to walk.
Yeah.
And never compare your journey with someone else. Comparison is the thief of all joy.
Yeah, it is.
Don't compare. Put your blinders on and run your race. That's why they do horses like that. So they're not looking at anybody else but their goal. Put them blinders
I tell them all the time,
run.
don't do what I did. You know, be better than what I am. You know, I tell my kids all the time, be better than me. You know, I do okay, and I have a way to do it, even with the fitness tips. I tell you what works for me. Yes. It may not be the same for you, but that's where you have to find your niche and adapt and adjust, and you'll get there. We have the same end goal. Yeah. But there's a different path to getting there.
That's
and
it.
everybody's going to be a little bit different. So what worked for me may not necessarily work for you, but you'll get there. Just got to. That's it. Just stick with it.
And 3 principles that I really want people to take from today. You got to love what you do.
Love it.
And it's got to be something that you're willing to do, even if you don't get paid. And that's hard because it's just instilled in us with everything we do. You gotta get your money. My mind on my money, money on my mind. You got to. It's like, you know what? First, you got to love what you do, because if you love what you do, you're gonna go so hard for it. It's gonna happen.
Man,
Secondly, become a student of what you love.
Gotcha.
You can't play with it. I am a student of the arts. Everything I work, everything I watch, I dissect.
Respect the craft.
To the point of where I got to be quiet when I watch TV now, because I'm sitting next to my wife and I'm dissecting and other stuff, and it's like she ain't trying to hear that. She just want to enjoy.
You see the emotion in that scene? The way it was coming in. He should have slid and paused a little longer.
She don't want to hear any of that. She just want to watch the show.
Right.
And lastly, somebody trust God to put somebody in your life who's going to believe in you, because everyone needs a mentor. You need somebody who's walked the path that you are walking, so you can walk behind them. Not necessarily walk in the same manner, but you got to be able. You got to have somebody, some blueprint to look at.
Man, look, that is so true. I can't reiterate that enough. You got to have somebody in your corner. Somebody gonna believe in you, and that's all it takes. A lot of times is that person to push you.
One person.
One person's all it takes, man. And I ain't looked back since my uncle helped me that one day. No. So, and I try to pass that on to somebody else, because, whether we like it or not or want to, we're a mentor to somebody else. Somebody's always watching.
Yes.
We don't think so. Somebody's watching you. So
somebody who's in the chat just told me an hour ago that he's been watching me for a long time through this whole journey. So I was like, wow. So what's the one song by Rockwell? I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Exactly.
Hey, somebody's watching you. So
I always say, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, it'll show. You don't have to put it out there. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, it'll be seen. My son was playing ball and everything. I said, just do what you're supposed to do. They're watching.
Yeah.
They're watching. Stay the course. You don't have to worry about it. It's already taken care of.
And one thing I really subscribe to, Devon Franklin, he's a big time executive producer, movie producer out here. He does a study with a lot of actors and people in entertainment, weekly or once a month. And he said that your name is being spoken of in rooms that you haven't even been in yet.
Man,
that's huge. So keep that in mind, that the people watching, they may have so much more influence that it can blow your mind. So be faithful in your assignment. Handle your business. Don't worry about anybody else's race. Cheer for people, because I root for everybody.
Man, look, I want everybody to win.
Yeah. It's enough pie for everybody. Just give me a slice. Give me my slice. That's all I want.
It. I don't need much.
You get unhealthy eating the whole pie anyway.
Well, I always say I eat a little bit every day as opposed to trying to eat that big steak one time every month. I'll eat a little bit every day.
I don't eat it all. So I want to thank everybody who's been viewing and who's been listening to RDC Speak Life Sessions.
Yes, sir.
Thank you to my incredible guests,
man.
DJ RELLERELL, Darrell Newsom. Thank you
for having me, bro. I appreciate that.
And make sure, everybody, that you subscribe on Apple RDC Speak Life Sessions. Follow on Spotify. Rate the podcast when you listen to it. Don't just listen. Give a rating, because those ratings help the podcast. Right. And as I close out always with 3 things. Remember to love God, love yourself, and love people. We love you.
Love you back, bro. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all take care, man. Thanks.
All right, later.
All right.